Good morning, everybody, and good evening to Matt Barnes, who's joining us live right now from Tokyo. Barnes, how you feeling? You're adjusted to the time. What's going on today?
Slowly getting adjusted to the time. It's been weird because we've had to wake up early some days, and then obviously we're on a completely different time zone than we would be on the East
Yeah.
Coast. But it has been a whirlwind of figuring out what to do, how we can do it. So yeah, I'm getting tired now, but this is the time when I need to be getting tired because I should be going to sleep soon.
Okay, well, we won't keep you long then, but tell us what you've been up
It's all
to
good.
since being in Tokyo. I know you had a really special interview, one that I was particularly interested in yesterday.
I knew you would say that. Yeah, no, it's cool because what we've been able to do is we have to try to talk to athletes virtually, just like we've had been doing obviously in the last year and a half.
Hmm.
But normally we would be able to go to the athletes village and try to talk to people as they are walking and roaming around, but we can't do that. So it's been a lot of reaching out via Instagram or Twitter, things like that. And I had reached out to Peter Dafafatua, who is the athlete from Tonga who was the flag bearer who was shirtless. And I reached out to him last April, and he was a great interview. He was a really nice guy. So I reached out to him today, and he said, "Oh yeah, give me an hour and we'll talk." And I got to tell you, Christine, talking to him about the Olympics, about the joy of getting everyone together, even during COVID, he was just a pleasure to talk to. He
Oh.
just brings positivity to your soul, and I can't wait to have people hear what he has to say about living in the village with COVID and whether or not he will wear a shirt for the opening ceremony.
Matthew, if I looked like that, I wouldn't wear a shirt ever. Just
I mean, if I looked like that, I probably would be modeling instead of working at NBC4,
a
right?
little bit more money in it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he's an Olympian. So just how did he get all of the amazing genes in life? Whatever. Not jealous
Yeah.
at all. It's fine. It's fine. Um,
It's okay.
yeah. So in our morning meeting, you said you made your way to the 7-Eleven, which is something that Monica's been pestering you to do, right? How did that go? You picky eater, you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You know me, I'm not one to really venture outside of my norms and my comfort. But the 7-Eleven is not like a 7-Eleven you would see in the United States. It has some gourmet foods in there, frankly. I mean, there are spaghettis with sauce that are right there and sandwiches that are very, very fresh and other sandwiches and items you would think would not be in a convenience store. So I went in there very apprehensive of what I would get. I'll pull out what I got in my refrigerator
So
here.
is this like some Tokyo skyline? Because we don't need any more of that.
No, no, no. So I got a rice bowl with beef, vegetables, and red chili
That
paste.
sounds
It
good.
actually looks pretty good. Um, but I ate dinner right before I went to the
Yeah.
7-Eleven, so I'll eat this at some point, I'm sure. But it is quite the experience to see how a 7-Eleven is so different in one country than it is the other.
Yeah, that's really cool. We saw you posted your breakfast yesterday, or was it your dinner? I forget. There's a lot of bread involved, which is seems pretty great, actually.
Surprised by that too. So that's always my breakfast. So the breakfast comes
Okay.
to our hotel room door. We can't go down to get breakfast
Yeah.
because of COVID and things like that. So it comes delivered, and every day's been a surprise. But what I have not been surprised by anymore, because it's been 3 days in a row, is how many dishes are bread based. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's a bagel or a sandwich or a roll or a biscuit, there's so much bread,
You're gonna get the
and it's
Tokyo
all
15.
seriously, I'm eating so many carbs. Thank goodness we have to walk to our shuttle,
Yeah.
and I'm sweating so many pounds because it's so humid here. But yeah, the food is fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Good.
It's just different looking. So much of it is bread based for the breakfast. I don't know if they're doing that because they think that's what
Americans
we as
like.
tourists or Americans like,
Yeah.
yes, or if that's the normal thing. I do think it is part of their normal fare though, because one of the dishes I had was bread with corn on it, and I don't know what the sauce was.
Okay.
But then when I went to the 7-Eleven today, I did see exactly what I ate 2 days ago, and it was a corn and mayonnaise sandwich. So I had that for
Oh,
breakfast.
all right.
And if you would have told me I would have that in Columbus, I'd say you're absolutely crazy. I had that 2 days ago, and it was
I
fantastic.
really wish you liked sushi. Honestly, you're living my dream. That's like my favorite food. I really wish you liked it.
We haven't even had it been
Oh,
offered
really?
at the catering at the hotel yet.
Oh,
Now we're thinking maybe they'll get to it.
yeah.
I don't know, but we do know there are two places we can eat. One is at the Media Hotel. The other is at the International Broadcast Center. NBC caters both, and the NBC catering at the International Broadcast Center does have sushi.
Okay.
Our two reporters found that out today, so we may venture there tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I saw you on the live shot location. I think you tweeted a picture, you put it on Instagram. You're pretty close to Savannah Guthrie in the Today Show's live shot area.
It's really cool. The way the setup is that we're all on the 5th floor of this hotel that looks over Tokyo Bay, the Rainbow Bridge, and there's a nice barge there with the Olympic rings. Yeah. And so we are room 517, and literally 5 doors down is where the Today Show is.
That's so cool.
2 doors down, 2 doors down is where Access Hollywood is. We're all just in a row. So tomorrow when we do our live shots for the first time, I do wonder how many of us are going to be talking at the same time. But it's a great view of the city, and I can only imagine how beautiful it looks in TV as it does in person, because it's fantastic.
So Matt, we've got a person asking here. I'm monitoring the questions on your page and the NBC4 page. Annette is saying that it was really sad to hear about the individuals who tested positive and can't compete. I'm sure you touched on it already yesterday, because it was kind of yesterday's news, but I haven't talked to you about it yet. So it was an alternate on the Olympic team. You got it confirmed who it was, and have they since wrapped Simone in bubble wrap or cellophane, like put her in a bubble? We need you, Simone.
Yeah, no kidding, right? When that news first came out, the immediate reaction was, did Simone Biles?
No.
And it was not, thankfully. And obviously we feel sorry for Kara Eaker, who, while an alternate, had plans to come to Tokyo and at least be in the atmosphere and live in the village and all of that. So, no, I'm sure Simone has been tested just like all the athletes every day to make sure she's okay, and they clearly cleared her of close contacts with Kara. But that's the risk of this whole Olympics, isn't it? Where there's so many close calls. We did a Zoom with an athlete today who was on a flight with someone who tested positive on the flight. So they were in the airport for 11 hours as they were trying to decide who was a close contact with her before they let them make their way to the Olympic Village. It is just that kind of thing. Yeah. This, as you know, COVID does not discriminate. So it will jump from, whoever and whomever. Some of these athletes are vaccinated, some of them are not. And some of them, it's not like they're not vaccinated because they didn't want to. They didn't get vaccinated because their country may not have a vaccination yet.
That breaks my heart, knowing how many we have here in the United States just ready to go in people's arms. And I know we're sending them to other countries and we are helping out with that, but it's still, that's a bad situation. Matt, something else I wanted to ask you about. So you're allowed out of your room for like 15 minutes a day, right?
Yeah, so 15 minutes a day. So the way it works is we have to go downstairs, we go to our security guards and say, hey, we're just going to go to the convenience store. And that's pretty much all we can do in those 15 minutes. We can't go outside and run for 15 minutes. You can't just go outside and walk. It's got to be for a reason. So you go there, you sign out, and then if you're not back within 15 minutes, they can either give you a warning, they can report you. I mean, hey, we're not trying to break any rules here in Japan.
Absolutely.
So 15 minutes is our max, and that is, why we got to the 7-Eleven as quick as we did and came right back. You don't get much time there.
Yeah.
So you make a decision quickly and you get back to your hotel room.
All right. Well, I think 7-Eleven is a really good decision. What do you have on the docket? So you're going to go to sleep right now, and then what do you have on the docket for what will be your tomorrow?
Yeah, so my tomorrow is Wednesday, yes, as you know. And tomorrow we're going to wake up, and because our first live shots are tomorrow, you'll see me on NBC4 today starting at 5:45 a.m. Columbus is the first live shot that we are doing from Tokyo.
Yes,
so how cool is that?
Of course it is. Priorities.
Yes, so I'll be on at 5:45 a.m. for the first live shot. And so what we're going to do leading up to that is I'm going to start working on my stories for Thursday and Friday. Okay. I've talked to 2 people who live in Japan who are giving me their take on what the country thinks about the games being here and the protests and stuff like that, as well as doing a story about COVID spreading in the Olympic Village. We're already up to 4 cases of people who have lived in the Athletes Village, I should say, not the Olympic Village, the Athletes Village, who have tested positive. So how safe is it? How confident are they that they won't turn this into a super spreader event in what they are calling a bubble? It's such a evolving story that continues to move. And so we're monitoring it all and trying to get as many athlete interviews, et cetera. So It's interesting, Christine, for sure. From those who have covered a lot of Olympics here, they all keep saying just how different this is. And
Yeah.
obviously, it's my first, but it feels different for sure.
Well, I know you're really good at adapting, so it was a good one to send you to. You'll be good, and I know you'll bring us awesome coverage. One more question, actually. So usually, so the higher profile athletes, the ones who are multimillionaires from their sponsorship deals from the past, the NBA players, Simone, maybe, well, Katie Ledecky is still in school, so not her, but they don't really stay in the Olympic Village. They kind of get hotel suites. Is that the case?
So it's funny. We're seeing it kind of all over the place. The basketball players that you talked about, they were on a yacht, I think, in Rio.
Oh,
I don't know where they're going to stay yet here. They don't even arrive until Saturday
yeah,
because their first game is on Sunday. They're getting here really late. The men's gymnastics team, which includes former Buckeye Alec Yoder, I was texting with
yeah.
him to see if how the village was, and he said, "Oh, we're not in the village. We're in a hotel." But then I saw Simone Biles' Instagram, who I do not text with her, sadly. She she posted a picture of her inside the village.
Okay.
So it's all over the place. Men's gymnastics, for some reason, decided to go hotel. Women's gymnastics said, "Hey, we want the athletes' village experience." Who knows? But
If I were
I
Simone, I
know.
wouldn't be sleeping on a cardboard bed.
Hey, you talk about the cardboard beds, all right? The two athletes we talked to today, including Peta, the Tongan, and our Taekwondo athlete from the U.S., who we also talked to, Anastasia, um, they said the cardboard bed is very sturdy. The bed is very
I've
firm,
got that. I've got
but
that story coming up in trending.
oh, do you? Okay, but with that said, Peta was very adamant to show me it is cardboard. He was like shaking it. He's like, it's absolutely cardboard.
Ugh.
Um, but but literally both of them said how great the village has
Yeah.
been. They're still getting around and talking to people, having a good time. They just can't mingle as much as you would like
Yeah.
to with. You can't cross mingle with countries as much as you would like to.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is a bummer. I feel like for them,
Yeah.
that's kind of honestly the biggest bummer. I know they're focused on the sport, but the community aspect of the Olympics is what it's been all about for hundreds of years. I
Yeah.
think so. They do get to miss
It's
out on
part.
it.
It's part of the experience is
Yeah.
meeting the elite athletes of whatever sport from whatever country all at the same
Yeah.
time, and now you're kind of trying to make sure you only stick with your bubble and your people, but you see them from afar, you know you're in the atmosphere with them, but you can't really get too close. That's unfortunate.
All right, Matt. Anything else you want to add before you go to bed?
No, just know that I will be tweeting and Facebooking and Instagramming this entire thing. I hope people have been paying attention to it. I left the Buckeye over there, but my little trusty Buckeye is gone with me, and I will have a picture with the Buckeye every day.
Lisa just
Today,
commented that she's been loving your pictures with the Buckeye.
I hope so. Today's picture was with Akbar Bajabi Amila and Matt Eisman from American
Yeah.
Ninja Warrior because they're here. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. It's kind of sometimes it just comes at the last second, but there will always be a picture with the Buckeye every day just to bring a little bit of Columbus back to Tokyo.
All right, who will be your dream? Who would be your dream to get to interview, to get to meet during these Olympic Games? Who's your number one?
Oh, I hope it's Simone Biles. I
Yes,
really do. I
I
think that's
hope
got
so
to be it,
for you.
right? When you have the goat, and there's a chance, maybe, because if she comes up to today's show, maybe for a show, after she's done, maybe they just walk her by our room and we can talk to her. But
Say, hey, Columbus
a
here. Remember us?
yeah, exactly. You were born here. A boy can dream, right?
Yes,
So we'll see. I can tell you if that happens, though, you'll be the first to know, Christine.
I'm sure Instagram will be the first to know. That's the first place I would put it. You get so many likes, Matt.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I would hope so. She's kind of known out there.
All right, thanks, Matt. We'll talk to you later. Get some rest.
I will see you guys live in the morning at 5:45 on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.